welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I mix my fertilizer, my preferred method, and I'm going to show you a bit of repotting that I'm doing today as well. First up, I'm going to take my measuring spoon, and I usually use just a 5 ml in 4 liters of water. I'm getting my rhino skin. This is my silica. I use this to keep all of my plants nice and strong. My preferred method for this is always mixing the silica first. I like to mix my silica and leave it for at least 15 minutes. Sometimes I leave it a bit longer, usually an hour actually. But I mix that first. Next, I'm going to be mixing up some of my soil that I use, and it's actually a soilless soil for my anthuriums. This is my cocoa coir. I mix cocoa coir and I usually use perlite. Sometimes I use some orchid bark and leca. Lots of times with some of my more mature anthurium, I will mix in some organic living soil. Not too much, as they're not the most soil loving plants, but I find that it gives them that added little bit of nutrients that they need between the feedings. I know you can't see exactly what I've done here in the mixing process, but I assure you I will be doing a soil mixing video one of these days soon here. So I'm going to be repotting my newest Tizzula red crystal from Peter Lamb, and I also got some papillomenum cross Fort Shermans from him. They are little seedlings, and I got 3 of those as well. The roots on this plant were amazing. He has them just in moss for the shipping. So I'm just taking off all the moss and cleaning up the roots a little bit. Check those out, they look wonderful. This plant has been one of my wish list plants. I actually got another red crystal this year with my sister-in-law. We split it, and so she's growing it out right now, and we got the NSE red crystal. And so this was the Tizzula, and Peter grew these. He called them the purple crystallinum. So the veins are extremely red, purpley pinks. They're gorgeous. The little seedlings are his jungle pap cross that he made. That's what he called them. They're a little papillomenum. He did a papillomenum PL1, he called it, as well, crossed with the Pap Fort Sherman. Those should grow out wonderfully. If I remember, I will post a little picture above. So I'm just going to fill my little pots with my cocoa coir mix. Fill the bottom of my cup with leca on my larger plants. I'm going to put a little bit of the soil in there, and I'm going to start filling around the plant. I should have filmed this better. I never thought about the fact that you couldn't see my plant. So I'll take apart the little seedlings, and I pull as much moss off as I can, and I stick them in the little hole that I make. These little seedlings are super small, so I have to be super gentle with them. Oh, now you can see the plant. So, putting the second seedling into the little cup. I luckily had 3 of these little square pots that I've now acquired from other sellers. So that was kind of exciting. I got to put all 3 seedlings into the same size. I usually try and go pretty large when I'm potting, just so they can fill the roots out first and then work on growing larger leaves. I've been finding it working really well for me. I know lots of people don't have that same experience, but this is what works for me, and they love it, especially with the cocoa coir mix that I've been using. So next up I have my CalMag. I love this brand with the Advanced Nutrients Sensi Cal. I mix 5 ml of this also. And I typically, even when I'm not going to add the other nutrients, I usually feed my plants at least silica and CalMag every single time. So next I mix in Marfil, and this stuff is a sea kelp based soil enhancer. I love this stuff. If I can find the picture again, I will add it. I used this on one of my alocasias and it just wasn't growing for the longest time. When I mixed this into her next 3 feedings, she almost tripled the size of her leaf. So I mix 5 mils of this as well. Now, I don't absolutely love this stuff, but it's cheap and it works for everything else. It's the Schultz brand 10-15-10 NPK plant food. It's an all-in-one. It's just pretty much your base nutrients. So I feed 5 mils of this. You can get it pretty much anywhere, Walmart, Canadian Tire. Give that a good stir, and then lastly I always check the pH, and I usually try and get my pH down to about 6-ish, 6.5. So all the products that I'm using are Advanced Nutrients brand except for the Marfil and the obvious of the Schultz brand all-in-one. And you don't need very much of this at all. I'm using like I believe my 1/8 of a teaspoon, and I put like a few drops into this full 4 liters. And I test the pH a few more times. That's one thing that I make sure that I do every single time. I don't have to check the parts per million of my plant feed anymore, as I know that my 5 mils does bring me up to a good number, about 525 parts per million. If my plants are in flower, I might feed them a little bit higher, which I do have one Anthurium right now, my Carnivorous, that's actually right back there on the right hand side. She's in flower right now, and I've been feeding her just more regularly. Well, most times, so I don't drown these, I tend to just take a little cup, pour some water, let it soak in. The cocoa coir takes a little bit of time to pre-soak, so I don't want to fill them too full and have them sopping wet so the roots then rot, but I haven't found any issues with this so far. I try and keep this room as tidy as I can, so I'm going to clean up a little bit here. Not gonna lie though, it tends to become a disaster just about every time that I come down and deal with my plants. Who else can relate to that? Just me? Okay. Have to admire this new baby. She is just beautiful. I can't believe she even came with a leaf that has emerged, and I hope that it survives after traveling, but it didn't travel too far, so I think that it'll be okay. I love this little dome too. I just want to say I need to find some more of these. I think he probably got them on Amazon or something, but those little domes have the little acclimation top, and it's wonderful. Side note, I didn't end up using that little acclimation dome. I ended up just taping 3 cups to the top because that's how I do. But if I can order some more of these, I will get them, and I will probably switch it out for that because it's way better. It's like big decisions, you know? I'm pretty indecisive when it comes to these, and I like everything looking neat and tidy, and I'm OCD, and so the tape really just doesn't help the situation. After, you'll see why when I'm talking about it's horrible, but at least the pots and cups match. Go me. So I hope to do another video probably next week. I'm going to do my soil mixing, and I will obviously get a better angle of filming for this because this has just been horrendous. But Before I head out, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will be back again next week with another video. Bye!